I picked up this project, I was so excited, but had no idea the amount of shit I was about to deal with. It was far rougher. We didn't know if it ran. We didn't know what condition the paint was in. And we finally got it to the shop between broken headlights, repainting the car, completely redoing the interior, brakes, suspension. It was an endless mound of work, never ending. Scraping, peeling, piles of parts for days, endless part suppliers, never ending. But in the end, it all became worth it because I would finally have the car I always wanted, the Fast and Furious Mitsubishi Eclipse that Paul Walker or Brian O'Connor drove in the first video. I can still picture to this day when I left the movie theater, tires spinning in my Honda Civic. Guys, welcome back. If you're here today, you saw the title and thumbnail about an update on my green Fast and Furious Eclipse. Now, with that said, this is gonna be a long story and I'm gonna try not to ramble on, but I might ramble on, so bear with me on this. Now, as many of you know, this is probably one of my most viral cars unintentionally. Let me explain. My buddy Ken approached me and said that he had all these Fast and Furious cars. At the time, I didn't really know Ken too well. Cool. And I knew of George Estrada, who had the world's largest Fast and Furious collection. And Ken took me out to the property to see the cars, and it was super cool. Now, a lot of you have seen the video. It's got 500,000 views on that one. There's a few videos though, and then it's been reshared a bunch. A lot of people call it cap, but it wasn't cap. Well, what's up with this one? Okay, this looks like a cheap car. Let's talk.
12 meter. Is there an engine in it? There's another one? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's got active aero. That'd be cool.
What? Dude, this picture looks so cool in the trees like this.
With the leaves on it.
That car was legitimately sitting beside the building. Let me explain. George originally, when he bought that car, his intention was to fix it for part of his collection, but then he came across a cleaner chassis, which any of us would do, and he abandoned that project and parked it beside the building. Ken passed. The cars had to go through the family estate before they could be sold, and that's how I kind of came into play. So it wasn't cap, it's a real video, it's a real car, and it was really sitting there. And when I got it, a lot of people in the comments, a lot of people are like, oh, you just gotta wash it or set it there. No. If you watch the full video, it was much, much worse than that. So we're just getting the itch here.
I am.
Because he wants to peel off all these decals. So we need to start with, we do have to paint the car. We do have to remove the spoiler. So get your razor blade over there. We're not sure what's going on there. The interior does need some work. And it does need a new carpet the mice have got in here. Well, it's a new day. It's a new Monday. Serge got lots done yesterday, eh, Sergius? Just
yes, I did.
Living the decal dream over here, buddy?
Yeah, lots of glue.
Lots of glue. It's actually kind of crazy how it's baked itself into the paint over the last 20 years. So again, this car was built in 03. Had those decals on its whole life. More sanding to do here yet. We got to peel back all the clear coat and feather that back. They're just working on the roof here, it looks like, getting it done. Then primer most of the car after. I've never seen that before, and I actually talked to a couple shops who've never seen that before. Anyway, you can see we've got all the high spots, a lot of the low spots with a little bit of a skim on her. Everything's all feathered back from where it was, the clear coat was peeling, and things are looking pretty good. We have a low spot there, might have to fix. This is nice forgiving color anyway, so that's nice. This car had to be completely repainted, re-prepped. It was full of mice and the interior was shot. And we're gonna get into that today for the people that haven't been here. And then we'll get into where is the car today. So backing up. So Ken approaches me, we get the car and we load it on a trailer. The interesting part about this being one of my most viral videos is it was unintentional. This was literally a last minute decision in a hotel room. I was with my buddy Jamie and Justin. I think we should go buy a car.
Let's do it, please.
Do you know what kind of car we should buy?
Ferrari. It starts with an M.
It starts with it.
Ferrari.
Theoretically, it does start with an M. I was just, yo, let's go buy a car. We're in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Let's go buy a car. And then just, it took a while. It took about a year, and then all of a sudden this thing popped off. So anyway, so we pick up the car. I had it back to Saskatoon to where my shop is. And it needed to be prepped. So my buddy Serge and I began the prep work. We took off the decals, or decals for the Americans, and are going to correct that. Canadian, we don't say decals. So we took it all off. And from there, we started to prep everything. The whole car had to be repainted. So we sanded it all. We took all the body kit off of it. And it went to the paint shop to be resprayed. Oh my God. Search, 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 search. It's here. It's here.
I'm so excited.
I know, come on, let's go see it.
Looks good.
Yeah, so far it looks good. Looks like a big scratch on the bumper or something. What is that? You're looking at it. That's a different story. And after the paint shop, we brought it back, and it wasn't just as simple as putting the decals on. We had to do everything. Everything had to be done. So there were simple things that were frustrating, like dealing with Vivid Racing. As you saw in some of the videos, I'd ordered a carbon fiber hood for the car. Talk about Vivid Racing for a second here. We're not even to the point anymore where we count in weeks as to how long it has taken them to get me this carbon fiber hood for this Eclipse. You know, I'm a patient guy, and I try really hard to be patient, especially with businesses, because I own a couple businesses. But let me tell you about something. When the customer service is lacking, that's a problem for me. I ordered this hood going on 5 months ago, and Jeff there barely replies to me. And if he does, he doesn't even touch on the issue of the hood not being here. I put a charge back on my credit card because it was just, it's too long. I didn't even have a tracking number yet. They were screening my calls, so it was a bit irritating. So from there, we got the car sanded and painted. Excuse me, reassembly started. And once we started reassembling it, we started to find a lot of things that the original builder did wrong in the car. And nobody's fault. The car was well done. If somebody didn't know what they were doing, it was well done, but it just not to my level of OCD. Oh, every time I turn around, Tegan has something interesting to show me.
I found a mouse nest, but a different kind.
Who wired this car? Like, they should not be allowed to do things. Like they
Double
like,
single.
Really? This. I'll go to this side. It's kind of like this stuff.
Yeah, I found another random plug painting down there too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect amount.
Another one.
Anyway, so we're taking things apart. We got the roof liner out. Sides are off. Next is dash and steering wheel. Oh, Tegan's actually got that side loose. And
It's half loose. I'm not sure what's holding up.
okay. Fantastic. So there's a lot of stuff that had to be done, but the interior, if you look back in the original videos, had a torn steering wheel, a cracked dash, torn seats, mice throughout the whole thing. And it was time to deal with that, and I wasn't gonna half-ass it. So as one of the guys, Tegan, and he stepped up and he dealt with everything very well. He took the interior completely apart, and backing up. Interiors are notorious for sagging, the headliners. And it was a sunroof car, which I looked at getting rid of the sunroof before we sprayed it, and then I didn't want to do a headliner, but in the end I ended up doing a headliner anyway. And so we redid the interior, and I met this cool guy named Chris Rees out of Calgary, Alberta, and he has, I'm not even kidding, thousands of parts for these DSM cars. And I was just like, I just saw him on Marketplace. I'm like, yo, I need a whole interior. He's like, bro, I got you. I'm like, no, I need roof liner, dash, doors, everything. He's like, hey, I got you. Solid. So my buddy Justin went out to his place to get everything and brought it all back. And then I was like, you know what? I dig the early 2000s interior in the car, and I think we're gonna leave it there. So we did the headliner and carpet, and I put in new Sparkle seats to kind of match the era of the video. And backing up to that, because a lot of you in the comments have talked about they're not the exact seats and the exact steering wheel. This is a tribute car. It's not a replica car, it's not a hero car. It's a tribute car, which is essentially a tribute to Paul Walker in the Fast and the Furious, or Brian O'Connor in the Fast and the Furious, the first one. It's not meant to be identical, but close, okay? So I got Sparco seats from a local guy. I got the steering wheel off of eBay, and we did the dash from Chris and everything like that. And I just ended up using those interior parts and the red Eclipse. This car is actually a Talon. So that was cool. We got the spoiler back on. And then it was the headache of what I thought would be the easiest part of the build. It's the decals. So I couldn't find anybody to cut them. I ended up finding some woman in Europe who was willing to do it, wanted a deposit. I got them, and the side decal was about 3 feet long. And I said to her, I'm like, no, like they need to run the entire car. This needs to be 10 feet long. So did that again, and I did the tires. This car wasn't lowered when I got it, and then we did lower it. So there was a lot that went into the build. And overall, that was actually one of the biggest headaches. The Kawasaki green on the car was no problem. The decals, really, it's been a lot of fun. There's been things along the way that we've run into. So these DSM cars, they're actually very notorious for corrosion and rust. And if you find one without corrosion or rust, it's a unicorn, because even the ones in Texas rust. So one thing we ran into along the way was Serge was playing with the door, and we noticed the door had a little bit of flex, and I always thought it was the pins and the hinges, but no, it was actually rotting on the inside of the door. The door off, we've got some angle grinders out, and we've got a Serge here digging away. We're trying to figure out why the door was sagging, and we now know.
Need some light, sir? Looks pretty dark on there.
So that's a problem. As much as I'd like to take credit for doing everything, I actually didn't do a lot in this build. I coordinated everything, but the real talent here is Serge and Tegan and whoever painted it as Speedy Collision and stuff like that. I just show up. So those guys are the real MVPs here. So things seemed simple, but it wasn't so simple. So putting the interior together, it included new carpets, and then I wasn't happy with the roof liner. So it was funny, one day I came into work and Serge had the whole door off and he was welding, and anyway. Another thing we ran into along the way was, this is supposed to be a 7-bolt car. Somebody did a 6-bolt conversion, but they did actually a pretty shitty job. Like, don't get me wrong, it's in there and it runs, but my goodness, it was about as hack job in there as you could get. And then we started running into other issues, like the car had been sitting for years. So things like vacuum leaks, all the injector seals had to be done. The exhaust manifold gaskets, first fire up, blew out. I did the timing belt water pump, we lowered it. There was a lot of work, a lot of parts that went into the car. And overall, it's been a lot of fun. Now, the update you guys are looking for is, where is the car? Why isn't it here? I put this poll up, and you guys, what car do you want an update on? And y'all are sick. The Fast and the Furious Eclipse came in light years ahead of the Talon TSI, which is a similar platform, both DSM, and my Acura Integra. And y'all are sick. Like 98% on that Eclipse. And that's why we're here today, is to address, why haven't I posted more of the Eclipse? What is it? Well, as you all know, sometimes people fall in hard times. Sometimes circumstances change, life changes, things go on. And as a lot of you know, I don't have my shop currently. And things are not always as they seem. So I could do another video sometime addressing the shop and where it is, but the shop is no longer here. And I moved to Calgary from Saskatoon, and it's another story, but in the end, it was a better choice for my family and I. There's a building here in Calgary called the Bow, and I helped with the construction on the building back in 2013. And ever since then, I've wanted to move to Calgary. Calgary is beautiful. Saskatoon has beautiful factors for sure, but my heart's always been in Calgary. And it could be that I was born in Edmonton, not far from Calgary. It could be that. But ultimately, it's just, I love the mountains and it's close to the mountains. And it was just a better fit for our lifestyle. We're very outdoors, active people. So with that said, I don't have the car anymore. And some of you may unsubscribe, I don't know. And actually this is not real. This is a green screen. And things aren't always as they seem. So I'm sorry to disappoint you all, but there's some cool stuff coming up. And in spring, we're gonna make some cool videos and we're gonna beat the shit out of these cars. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. So I hope to see you there. If you unsubscribe, no hard feelings. Peace out.